Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome back to Everything Meta episode 13. Is it 14 now? I think we're at episode 14, and today we have NoGas.pro and Wonky here to tell us all about the project. Thank you for being here.
Howdy, howdy. Good to be here. Good to be here.
Thank you. What is NoGas and who are you? Answer those questions in any order you choose.
All right, so I guess I'll start a little bit on myself. Little background. I go by Wonky. Founder and member of the core team for NoGas. I've been in the crypto space for about two and a half years.
Mhm.
The entire dev team includes myself as well as about 8 other developers, with most of them actually have military and or government backgrounds.
Mhm.
We're all US based. Basically, NoGas, our main objective is to bridge the gap between complex trading strategies that are only used by coders and everyday traders. I would say an example of this, which is referenced in the light paper, would be a protocol called Flashbots. These bots, allow you to bundle transactions and send them directly to miners without paying fees. It allows you to avoid the mempool and the malicious MEV bots that come with that. But yeah, that's just the initial utility that we will be launching with. We do have some other things in mind as well, in directions that we can go. But cool. that is the basic gist of it.
So when you bypass the mempool, is that what people like considered a private transaction?
Correct. On Etherscan, you'll look up in like the top left corner, it'll say private transaction, and that way you're not going through the mempool and just sitting there waiting for your transaction to get picked up. You go straight to the miners. You won't be front run. So yeah, that's a primary advantage.
Cool. And then I've seen some private transaction. Oh, well, this is on like deploying contracts. Like there wasn't enough ETH sent as a tip, right, to the miner, and so like it reverted or just never went through, or it took a while. Are these transactions, like when users are swapping, do they go through pretty quickly?
Yeah, they will go through quickly, and if by chance they do not go through, it's not like your typical ETH transaction where if it fails, you're still hit with gas. If it doesn't go through, it doesn't go through, and nothing is spent on either end.
Cool, very cool. Well, so what's the plan, like the overall goal for the future? Like there's obviously swapping through Uniswap can be troublesome, right? MEV bots, you have your slippage too high, maybe the UI isn't quite working, whatever it might be. So what's the greatest ambition that you have for the protocol? Like 1 million users, everybody swapping with private transactions?
Well, everyone be only able to swap with private transactions, but ultimately with this kind of technology, and I'm sure you guys are in the space, have noticed all of the bot utility projects popping up, all the sniper bots. Our main goal is to be able to, at some point down the line, be able to launch coins that completely go around the mempool as far as launching them, and therefore avoid all the sniper bots. Because the more these utility coins that come out, and the more everybody is just incestuously mirror botting it's just going to turn into a shit show fast. And ultimately down the line, those are the things that we're trying to do with the protocol, on top of, of course, the no gas swaps. We've also, touched on something like dust swap. So cool little, use case. All the dust sitting in your wallet. I know I've got probably about 60, 70 coins sitting in there that, weren't even worth swapping out. Now you can kind of hook up, and then whatever, your tip is, it's converted from your native token into ETH and paid for your miner on the back end. Well, I gotta fix some of these margins. But yeah, if you want to,
Well,
use
I
case.
think that's a pain point, right? That a lot of people can relate to.
Oh yeah, I know I can relate to it.
Yeah, so that's actually the process, and what you're talking about is actually how we have one protocol that we've been working on for gaming, where people can use their dust tokens, right, to swap for like in-game assets or whatnot, right? Like their spare change essentially. And by sending it in and having us do it, it saves them, right? Because it's cheaper to send, right? As opposed to swap on occasion.
Swapping, you're taking a loss on that.
Yeah, but now maybe we don't have to do it the way that we were doing it. We could just use this protocol, right? Or users could use the protocol as well, right? So
yeah, 100% it would be applicable for that. 100%.
Super cool. So okay, so just to rewind, because you touched on something there I thought was pretty interesting. Sorry, Ken usually keeps me on track.
No problem.
This time I don't have to think of things to say. But okay, so you touched on the mirror sniping and this or the mirror trading and the mirror and the sniping, on launches and whatnot. And you think the private transactions, like obviously the bots, that are automatically swapping on enable trading or adding liquidity, right? Like things that are signaled through the mempool, and everybody's software like triggers off, and all of a sudden there's
correct. Those sniper bots like that add liquidity function, and the second that it's a wrap. It's a wrap. So if you can go around the mempool, so that way that function doesn't trigger those bots, it's a game changer. It's a game changer because like I said, it's a shame because sometimes a great project, most often a very hyped project, and it gets ugly. It gets ugly real fast. So that's one thing we're trying to do. So another objective of the property, we're trying to solve problems that are in the crypto space. They come up quick, they come up often. And if we can, like I said, find a way to bridge the gap between some of these more complex strategies involving, codes and running scripts, and basically to allow regular users and everyday traders to use them, that's our primary goal.
Cool.
Wonky, will you? It's important to me that our listeners who may not be as advanced on the technical aspects, myself included, with some of the things that you're mentioning, will you please give another iteration to kind of explain what it is that you do from the perspective of someone who may not be as well versed in terms of the back end of what happens?
Okay. Here, there's a perfect slide for this. Let me find it. It's going to be, it should be how no gas works. I'll give you the page number right here. Oh, there you go. So yeah, step one, you'll sign a transaction approving there's going to be two contracts you're going to be interacting with. It's going to be flash bots and it's called swap briber, which is essentially the contract on the back end that swaps your native token, whatever it may be, to ETH to pay the miner. So once you sign that transaction, it's going to get sent straight to the miner, bundled right around the mempool, and straight to the miner to be processed. And then from there, like they said, the swap briber contract kicks in, and then it swaps a portion of that native token and divvies it up to the miner. What we also do have, once the DApp is out, you'll see we have an incentive multiplier, like a 1.5, 2.5, and that acts as like the miner tip for how much you want to incentivize them.
which in like a MetaMask wallet, right, would be like the priority fee.
Correct. Exactly.
So it's like the multiplier, it's like upping your priority so
Exactly.
that the miner has more incentive to validate, right?
Depending on network congestion, those will all be things that come into play.
Got it.
Cool. And so we've been kind of brainstorming a little bit, right? So what is the I mean, obviously I think you're still in the brainstorming phase, right? Of figuring out exactly how the token plays into the protocol, right? And one thing that we were discussing, I think, and don't let us push you there. I know Phony came in and has so many good ideas. It's so helpful. But like, I mean, ETH is essentially like the utility of ETH is basically to power the transactions, right? And it's deflationary. A little bit of ETH is burned each time you transact, right? It even in this, right? You need a little bit of ETH to tip the miner.
Correct.
So like, are you able to make the native token, right, that you're launching? Like, is that sort of the function? Like, yes, you're sending directly to the miner, but are you like burning like a tiny bit? I mean, like sense wise, like a tiny bit of the native token, with each transaction? Like, can people burn more of their no gas token as well? Does it act as like a higher priority? Is that sort of what you're up to?
That's definitely one of the options. I definitely like being able to spend/burn on transactions, whether it's going to be a straight transfer, a swap, another part that I just came to my head. So what we'll also do is we'll be able to bridge to an L2 without using gas too. So you'll be able to get your ETH to an L2 without even using the initial gas to get there. We all know the L2s are cheaper to trade on, but you still need ETH to get your ETH there. This we'll have the L2 bridge as well, but I'll get back to that later.
Super cool. So a bridge, so a private transaction bridge.
Correct.
As well, which for traders out there, I think is great, right? Because like you have some of these awesome decentralized protocols like Didex, right? Like Didex for trading that operates on an L2 so that it's super fast, right? So you're actually like, you feel like you're trading and you're not like waiting for a transaction to process, right? So
it's lightning fast. And for example, like on Didex, if you have to buy ETH just to get your DAI into the L2, you don't have to do that anymore. If you want to get DAI in there, you just send the DAI and it'll swap, minuscule amount of your DAI out at the end of the transaction and tip the miner that way.
Right. Okay. So what is the pair going to be? Like token in ETH, token in DAI, token in USDC?
It'll be token in ETH.
And ETH. Okay. Super cool.
It'll be ETH.
Why not?
Yeah, I'm an ETH guy, and the market on ETH is looking pretty juicy. They don't seem to be too deterred by much.
Yeah. Well, okay. So we're doing, a pair with ETH. Maybe hope to grab some of that ETH rise up if we get there. I mean, obviously we're up over $800 since that little V-shape dip at 880. Great buys down there, really exciting. So I'm thinking, what else about the tokenomics? Is there anything special about the contract, or are we going with a pretty vanilla, like low redundancy type token, right? Because if you're using the token for burning or for transactions, you want as little redundancy as possible.
It'll be very little redundancy. The contract will be very gas efficient. But yeah, I like to keep things extremely simple. KISS. Keep it simple. And that's one of the reasons I brought on the dev team that I did, and their attention to accuracy and precision, and them all being ex-military definitely helps in that aspect. Their organization and, like I said, their attention to details is insane. So that was also one of my biggest priorities.
Cool. Okay, so is the team fully flushed out at this point? Are you seeking talent
No,
anywhere?
team is fully flushed out at this current moment.
Okay. So like for instance, there's like we were talking about maybe some type of marketing strategy earlier. The projects that are coming up on Yasha, we really want them to all have the ability to go and grab their own user base. I mean, obviously, if the protocol is good, if the game is good, if whatever it is that's launching is good, then it gives everybody in Yasha the opportunity, right, to get in early in a non-volatile trading environment. And it also gives the different protocols or games launching potentially a user base in a vibrant community right off the bat, right? Is there any special plan for marketing, or is there any like I think that some people in the Yasha community, one thing that they've really been focusing in on is like, do the projects that are coming in, do they have a plan for some type of mass adoption, right? How many people in the world do you see swapping this way as opposed to, as opposed to some of these other tools that you're seeing come out recently?
Yeah, so I've actually sucked out a marketing team that we will probably begin pushing on probably just after the first week. And, we get our regular standard organic user base in. They have a long list of clients they've worked with, Binance being one of them. But yeah, it is a major marketing firm. It is not a caller. It is not a single, crypto influencer. This isn't my first rodeo. Those things can only take you so far. But
Especially
yeah,
if you're going for like mass adoption.
Yeah, mass adoption is you're very limited in that aspect.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we have a major marketing team in mind.
Great. That's good to know. So you guys out there in Yasha DAO, they have thought about this professional marketing firm, for Web3. So
I think I sent you some of their info.
Oh yeah, I got it. I'm just trying to give you a softball. Trying to give you a softball.
For
Cool.
Sure.
Okay, so what other use cases? I know that NFT minting. So like we have another project in the ecosystem, Flash, which is like an NFT sniper. It's not a method sniper.
Okay.
It's very similar, runs on similar tech. And then they have like tools, like an NFT tools aggregate. Like, are there other potential uses for utilizing Flash bots?
Absolutely. And that's kind of the thing. Flash bots they've only been around for a little over a year. And like I said, pretty much the only way to use them or, take advantage of them is with, a lot of coding experience and being able to, navigate Python scripts. But another, I would say use case is just being able the onboarding of, normies, as we would say. You're no longer going to have to go out and buy ETH just to spend on gas. If you want to go buy it, you can buy it. So I think that's also a major key. That's
yeah, absolutely. I think the quote unquote normies are the best, right? Because they like generally when I'm gonna generalize here, stereotype, I guess. When they buy into a project, it's because they like the project, and their fundamentals from other forms of investing are to give it time and see where something will go. Because what everybody has heard is like, well, that guy that bought Bitcoin at $2, you know what I mean, and sold, and the fundamentals of how people are trading now, there's so much getting put out there, right? That like,
yeah,
there's so many launches, there's so many whatever it is, that, you know, especially if you're focusing on the TG call, you know, group type marketing or the influencer type marketing, it's like 1 second it's one token, the next second it's another token, the next second it's another token. It's like
whoever's paying them, that's what time it is.
bro, like it's very hard to have something grow, you know, especially something that can be useful, right?
Yeah.
For everybody. So
Yeah.
okay, so onboarding normies, that is the goal. Boom. Because who wants to be you know, sandwich spotted, right?
Of course. On your first transaction ever, you just get wrecked by a sandwich bot.
Yeah, like somebody's like, oh, let's get into this launch, turn your slippage to 49%.
Yeah. And you know,
And then you're like, okay, like boom.
Bought a coin before. Oh yeah, first you got to go to Coinbase, you got to buy this, and you got to send it there, and then you got to make sure you got ETH in the wallet to do the swap, and then they're just like, no, you lost me at step 2.
Yeah, there's definitely like a process of getting people on board.
Yeah, there's a lot of gaps to bridge, which is the angle we're trying to take with this project. Whether it be, like I said, tools, UI, regular just user experience. But yeah, that's our primary goal.
Cool. Well, I definitely think, you know, and this is just from a you know, some experience, right? The core competency, and focusing in making people see. I know that people in Yasha will like this, right? I think everybody will like it because most people in Telegram have this pain point of having the dust tokens sitting around. They got $5 here, you know, $10 here.
No matter who you are in this space, you got dust in your wallet. In one form or another, you got some dust.
Right. And that's like, so basically like our game hub, this is, you know, our game hub for Guzzler was, you know, Farouk has built several games where you can utilize the game token, which is like a synthetic token, but you get that game token by sending in your dust tokens. So that was our solution, right? Was like, oh, okay, if people can't swap this, they have $10 in token and it's $20 in gas. What are they going to do? Well, they can send for $5, $3, you know, depending on their settings, and we'll just swap it using this method, right? So super cool.
Yeah,
save me.
Another well, yeah, see, that's also, like I said, the protocol Flashbots itself is, like I said, a little over a year old, and just the use cases that have even yet to be discovered are, you know, they're out there. That's another part that I'm really excited about, is just all the different use cases that we can establish and dial in with this protocol. That's probably the most exciting part for me.
Wonk, you have excuse me, the way I'm conceptualizing this thing is I would like to maybe describe it to a new user, someone new to crypto.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say that ultimately what you're looking to do, no, maybe not ultimately, but one of the bigger things that you're going to provide is creating an experience in a decentralized platform that looks a lot like a centralized exchange?
Correct. Yep. That's one way to put it. That's one way to put it. Yeah. Is, like I said, bridging the gap between all these complex, you know, coding scripts, and just kind of breaking it down with a simple UI and a simple user experience, just so you know, regular people, including myself, can use these kind of tools.
Got it.
Cool. Okay, how far out are you? Is the protocol done? What's done? What is yet to be built? You know, where are we there?
So conception came at the beginning of the year. Development, like first stage, started in February. We have a proof of concept demo that we came up with, you know, just to make sure everything works. And but we are hoping to be launching sometime in the next couple weeks.
The protocol. I mean, yeah, not the launch, guys, not the launch of the token.
Yes. Shortly after, within 1 to 2 weeks after launch of the token, the protocol will be ready to go.
Super cool.
What we want to do before it's released to the public essentially is have it fully audited and, you know, tie up any loose ends that do exist and make sure everything is safe and secure for users. Of course, our main priority.
Cool. Super cool. I wonder, is there any B2B solutions here, right? Because like obviously there's like I understand the model, right? Like in a way, if your protocol is the miner, right, then they're sort of tipping you, right?
So, I mean, yeah, I guess if you are a miner, yeah.
Okay, and then is there a widget that people can plug in, other protocols, other tokens that they can say like, hey, like you can utilize this, right? I mean,
yeah, well, down the road, as far as, you know, integrating into other tokens, we're absolutely, I'm absolutely up for that. Like I said, what we're trying to do is just gain mass adoption, essentially. So if, like I said, if it's beneficial for both ends to, you know, incorporate or whatnot, we're 100% all for it.
Well, I think so. Yeah, my overall philosophy a lot of times, right, is like if you have what's essentially a permissionless tool, right? Because that's what this is, right? It's a permissionless tool. There's no reason why some other token project can't recommend. I mean, they recommend different wallets all the time.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, use this wallet, use that wallet, you know. So it doesn't. It seems like other tokens would be able to utilize this because it's beneficial to their user base, to their holder base. You know, why wouldn't they, right?
Absolutely, and it wouldn't be. It's not too difficult on our end to incorporate and include them on our back end. So yeah, that's one of the doors we're leaving open for the community and the crypto space as a whole.
Super cool. Is this Discord based or Telegram based or both? What's the plan?
It'll be probably a little bit of each. The Telegram will probably be community ran, and the Discord will be the team ran and, kind of more organized and informative aspect of our communication. But yeah, generally all official communications will come from Discord.
Nice. That's something that we have to get better at. It's like those things when you have when somebody else sets up a Discord channel and you come in and it's like, how do you, especially if you're like an operator, right? And somebody else sets it up. It's like, where do I go to write the thing that I need to write, and on Telegram, it's just, you just drop it in and you pin it.
Telegram's set it and forget it kind of thing.
Yeah, it really is something cool. Well, I think this is awesome. I'm glad that we were able to connect and try to offer this this to as a launch pad, right? That because that's what we want. There's a lot of GameFi type launch pads. There's a lot of even like degen type launch pads that are sprouting up all over the place. And like as a launch pad, we try to find things that are a little bit different, like new innovations or trying to make something easier or some type of permissionless something, right? So I think that it's pretty cool. So glad that you connected.
Yeah, likewise. Like I said, we're trying to solve problems at the end of the day. Solve problems and bridge gaps.
Cool. Yeah. What do you think, Ken? Are you like it?
I love it. I'm very excited. One of the things I wanted to say is I was wondering whether this would be something that could go on, be embedded on a website for a project in order to complete, purchases directly through those websites. Like some websites offer some other services in order for you to just kind of connect your wallet and make purchases. Is this something that people can use easily that way down the road?
That's a great question, but to answer it, absolutely, yes. It can be integrated into pretty much any website. It would just be the same protocol ran through the API.
Got it. Yeah.
Cool. Hey, I have a question. So a lot of these, sorry,
that's all right.
You see a lot of these sniping protocols, right, and whatnot, and they're like method snipers, right? What is if you don't let me put you on the spot too much, and I don't actually know that much as well, but like the difference between like the standard mempool sniper versus what you guys are doing, like if you can explain the differences, or like what the best, like if somebody is looking at sniper tools, right, like what they should actually be looking at versus what the method sniper type of projects and whatnot. If I'm not sure if you're in there, it seems like maybe you're right in there for this flashbot sort of thing. So, but don't let me put you on the spot, dude. It's okay to say
no. No. So basically, where we are, like, versus the sniper bots, they look for, like I said, that add liquidity or enable trade function, and we are just avoiding the mempool at all. So that will never trigger unless they are physically watching you and do it manually. But essentially, the auto sniping, the auto mirroring, that stuff's not going to work.
What do you think? Okay, so what do you think for the future? Like, you see, this is just opinion based and whatnot. Like, what do you think about all the mirror trading and mirror sniping and everything out there right now? Like, do you have any personal opinion on?
Personally, I think it's cancer. I think it's going to destroy a lot of good projects because you know what? Someone's going to figure out they're getting mirrored by a bunch of people. They're gonna buy into a honeypot that they deployed. Trust me, it'll get exploited, and it already has in some senses. I've seen I've seen 2 or 3 wallets get drained already because someone figured out that they were sniping them, and they approved permissions on whatever contract that they mirrored, and 3 minutes later their wallets are empty. And then on top of that, of course, just destroying projects with how they dump.
That's interesting. I know somebody that just got drained and utilizes a mirror.
Yeah.
Sniper. Yeah. And I didn't think about that. I thought maybe it was a free, one of those free NFT events. Because there's a ton of those free NFT. I'm like so sketched out. I'm like, why are people connecting to these random free NFT mints?
It's scary. And like I said, with the sniper bot, they have like an auto approve function. So you don't even have to approve it. So like if you're mirroring someone, you have that auto approve on there, you're toast.
Got it. So something to be aware of. I saw something really funny the other day. I saw a guy who has his wallet. I actually know him. This is kind of jacked. I don't think that you should do this. Personally, this is personal opinion, but his wallet is followed by a lot of people. Like maybe every time he buys, maybe like 10 to 12 people are auto buying right in the same block. And he bought into a super low liquidity, like dead token, like a random dead token, and bought like a lot, right? Like kind of ape pretty hard, so he had a fair amount of supply. And then like 12 people bought in after him, and then he sold.
Yeah. See, that's what they get though. That's the kind of thing that's gonna happen. Yeah, because like I said, it doesn't take much for people to notice. And like I said, once they do, they can probably get pissed off because 1 or 2 times you bought after them and dumped on top of them. It's
you know what? The devs for some of these projects, they're very talented and very smart, and there is some type of there is a benefit like to some of these people because they're able to get in fairly early on stuff, on good projects. They don't have to have the thing turned on all the time, you know what I mean? But if there is like some type of hyped launch or whatever it is, and there's people that are able to outgas other people, then they can kind of like mirror a wallet they sort of know is going to get in and sort of guarantee an entry, so I think there is like a use case, but it is tough. Then you have like a ton of
like it's, you got to think, with every use case, yeah, of course they're great in theory, but once, like I said, there's say 1,000 people on mirror token, and they're all mirroring each other, and then you're just kind of it's a race to the bottom once everybody's in.
Yeah, for sure. That's tough. Yeah, it's tough. Well, longevity, I think, with the deflationary aspect of the token, making the use case so easy, right, for people to understand. Swap your dust tokens without paying gas by tipping the miner directly, right? Burn a little bit of the native token every transaction, right? So it becomes scarce, but also like they need some of it. I don't like the models, and I'm not sure if this is the model that you're going with, but like where you have to have a certain amount of the token to access certain tools. Like I don't know. I think normal subscription models are actually better, because then you're limiting your top tier, right, to only if they have $20,000, $10,000, $20,000 worth of the token and they're holding, right? And so that's the reason why they're holding. Whereas like you could just get 10,000 users on subscription, right? Like $50 a month or something. And yeah, right. So I think for a business model, I think sometimes the subscription model is better for cash flow as opposed to like having people hold the token. But what people need to understand about like this project is like ETH itself, the utility of ETH is to power transactions and be deflationary. You burn a little bit of ETH every transaction. So I think that you can mirror that really easily and have the justification for a token make total sense, because that's what ETH is, right?
Basically.
Yeah, I mean that's the utility
without needing the ETH.
Yeah. So cool. Oh God, there was something else I was gonna say, and I can't remember it.
Was it a question about 2.0?
Yes, bro. What are the merge 2.0. Tell me what. So for those out there that are like, oh, we're moving to validation, we're moving to staking, the miners aren't going to be tell us why it doesn't matter.
Okay, so common misconception about the merge and/or 2.0. Unfortunately for everyone, it will not reduce or eliminate gas. That was a complete myth. That was never the objective. So essentially, Flashbots will remain the same in principle, but instead of tipping the miner, once we are moved over to the relayer, it will then tip the relayer. So the protocol will stay the same, and the merge will be nice and smooth. But yeah, that's a common question I get. Oh, why are you doing this? It's not going to be gas in a few months. I'm like, yeah, you're going to be unpleasantly surprised. So
cool things like Arbitrum out there, that.
Yeah. I mean, you got the ARB and all the other L2s, which you can get your ETH or whatever you want down there now without having to spend ETH to get it there.
Yeah, super cool. What's up, Ken?
Oh, Wonky, can you explain why there will not be a reduction in gas costs?
Because essentially gas is determined by the network traffic, and the traffic, assuming everything stays the same, won't change. I'll be on. I'm not sure really where that myth came from, but yeah, the merge will help with scalability, but that doesn't really it's not going to reflect in gas prices.
Yeah, I don't think it matters. I mean, even if there is some change in gas price, so guys, basically, instead of sending to the miner that is doing the work, right, to mine that block, to push the to validate the transaction, instead it's now you have people staking ETH, right, and validating that way as like sort of creating a node, staking ETH in a node to bounce the transactions, to validate them that way. And so this way it's going to the validator, right, or to the staking pool, or whatever you want to call it, as opposed
The
to
tip
the miner.
will now go to the validator instead of the miner.
Yeah. So that's, it is what it is. We have yet to see what is going to happen with gas, but I would say that the tech and the savviness of the dev team, if something changes with E 2.0 or whatever it is, I'm sure that that dev team and group will be able to pivot, add new use cases, build new D apps, whatever it might be, to make the project continue on and continue to grow. So.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely confident in that, and we're looking forward to 2.0 and sharding and all the other cool new opportunities that open up with us with the merge. So that'll be cool.
Super cool. Well, Ken, that's all I got. You got anything?
I've got nothing additional. I think we've got some good information. Looking forward to having an opportunity to participate. Can you just to recap? You're looking to have the protocol completed in the next couple of weeks, and then the token you're hoping for a launch when?
The token will come before the protocol. The protocol is already established. But once we launch the token, we're going to finalize the development, have the entire thing audited before public use. For of course, security and make sure everything's safe for everybody to use.
Got it. So approximately when launch?
Hopefully in the next, what's today, the 28th, hopefully in the next 14 days.
Awesome.
Yeah, we'll do our best. Our raise is complete pretty quickly once we get it up. We are in the middle of a new website revamp. Hopefully it looks like TrustPad. Hopefully it looks like a really cool Launchpad website. Where tons of stuff is happening and whatnot. So we'll try to get it done and get all the timelines knocked out. So thank you, Wonky, for coming on. Guys, for those that don't know, there's a lot of people out there. Wonky is KYC'd to us. Okay, whether he wants to KYC to anybody else, that is his own prerogative. Okay, but
I guess I'll add there, when the audit is released, a KYC will also be released as well. So
cool. Yeah. So KYCing and so that's super cool. Gives some confidence and whatnot, and then also willingness to come up here and speak. Off the cuff, right? Off the
for sure.
About the protocol and everything. Super late note. I think I told him like yesterday. I was like, hey, Ken's been bugging me for since we started this thing. He's like, bring somebody on, because otherwise it's just me droning on for like an hour straight, and then we say bye. And then we see each other. So we're finally using the platform for what it's supposed to do, which is like some AMA type things with some of the projects that are soon to launch on the Yasha Launchpad. So
yeah, well, it was good to be here. I appreciate you guys having me.
Cool.
Thank you. And if anyone's looking to see the light paper, you can go to nogas.pro. It is conveniently located right there on the website, and any other information you're looking for should be there as well. Thank you for tuning in, and we will talk to you next time. Take care.